Only on rare occasions do we see actresses speak up against what Hollywood is doing to women because they don't want to be blacklisted from the industry and ultimately lose roles. But in a one-on-one interview between Elle Fanning and Jenna Ortega, they straight up admitted they are sick and tired of Hollywood's push to have every female character be overly strong and independent. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube membership. Now, starting with this Bounding into Comics article, it says Elle Fanning and Jenna Ortega reject Hollywood's stereotypical badass and strong female characters. This, of course, is a topic that I have had to discuss many times on the channel because I love seeing strong women in entertainment, but Hollywood overdoes it, and they don't do it in a way that we still end up liking the character most of the time. They do Brie Larson's, where they have a strong, independent woman who doesn't need anybody to help her, and she can do everything because, of course, like a Rey Skywalker, she's a Mary Sue, and we don't like characters like that, but Hollywood has been so focused on pushing these characters, and it is wonderful to see more females in the industry speak out against this. So Fanning brought up the subject as part of Variety's Actors on Actors after briefly discussing her role as Catherine the Great in the television series The Great. Fanning said, "I don't like if you feel like this, but when, you're reading scripts and it's like they love describing women as badass, strong, and they're always coming into a room and they know everything. And it's like, oh, that's a strong woman. It's like, I don't want to watch that. I am not like that." And she continued by saying, "I love complicated women, and I want to play evil women, and that messiness is what I feel like I try to bring into Catherine because she's not always right all the time, And I personally have really enjoyed her performance in The Great. She's played a great Catherine the Great. It's not supposed to be a historically accurate series. There's a lot of drama, a lot of humor, and she has done a very good job in my opinion, but I completely agree with what she's saying. You can instantly tell when a character is supposed to be a strong woman and they want you to mentally take note of, oh, that's a strong woman in a movie. And that doesn't always kill a character or a piece of entertainment. But unfortunately, it's like the writers in Hollywood don't understand how to be subtle anymore. They feel like they have to shove something in your face for you to get the point, which unfortunately has killed a lot of potentially good projects over the years. And I completely agree when she says, not every woman is like that. She's not like that. I don't want to see that on screen all the time. And as a woman, I love seeing strong women, but Hollywood overdoes it to the max. Ortega then shared, also when you're not watching a project, you feel like the characters or representatives that you're seeing of yourself on screen are relatable or attainable. And when you're constantly walking and there's cars blowing up in the background and things like that, it's cool and it's awesome, it looks beautiful, but I don't know anything about her, so it's hard to develop some sort of admiration or connection with women when they're written very two-dimensionally and don't give you enough. This is something I have always said. It is so true that it hurts. Fanning then said, it's like to be a strong woman, you have to be this or that, it's like, again, putting us into a box. So I am very grateful for Tony's writing of getting to kind of show the different sides. Yes, almost all the women in, films now are exactly the same. And it's a worry that I've had with something like the gaming industry, right? When you start following rules and guidelines and you start listening to only a small group of people, you're going to end up with content all being the same. And it's like Hollywood, listen to the people who were mad about feminine women in entertainment, who were mad about sexualizing women in entertainment. So now they have to go in the complete opposite direction, and well, she can't be attractive she can't have any feminine qualities. We have to make her as strong as possible. And so we've ended up with a cookie cutter, and a cookie cutter that unfortunately isn't all that entertaining. And like I mentioned, it is a very rare occasion when actresses speak up against Hollywood because they are ultimately afraid of being blacklisted and shunned from the industry. So I do understand that. But seeing two of its top stars right now speaking out against this is great. And I've also recently had to talk about Evangeline Lilly. I talked about this in a previous video, but she said society is villainizing masculinity in men and applauding femininity in men. And she also said that we are applauding masculinity in women, which is completely true. She spoke about how she believes society is currently pushing to feminize men and masculinize women. And of course, there are always going to be opposites, right? There's always going to be feminine men in life. There are always going to be masculine women in life. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that they are occasionally showing these things. The issue is the extreme, right? They are going to extremes to show both of these things in, every piece of content. She mentioned her frustration over people vilifying traditional depictions of tough guys wearing boots, driving trucks, and fighting people, while loving it if a woman does those things. And she also urged the public to cast off trying to juggle judgment and reincorporating grace and charity into their lives. But she is someone who has been canceled in the past. There's a lot of people that do not like her because she was very vocal about, mandates, and she was completely against them. And the sensitive snowflakes online tried to use that against her and actually tried to get Marvel to ultimately fire her over it. And there was a lot of outrage when she said this about, feminizing men and masculinizing women. And I haven't really seen a lot of outrage surrounding Elle or Jenna yet, but I'm sure that it's going to happen. I'm sure that there's going to be people who are going to eat this story up and always use it against them. But yes, I completely agree with what they have said, and I do agree that, Hollywood's stereotypical badass and strong female characters, cookie cutter, is getting boring, it is getting dull. I don't want to watch it, and it sounds like they don't want to play it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.